The votes are still coming in, but I can see where my subscribers stand. It is a beautiful Monday morning where we get to see exactly what we're talking about taking fruition. XPeng delivered 9,026 vehicles in March, and NIO delivered 11,866 premium luxury EVs in March. What is so important about that as we continue to outsell XPeng, even though we're high-end? Because XPeng is a pure EV play just like us. We don't sell hybrids, they don't sell hybrids. We don't sell gas cars, they don't sell gas cars. They are a pure EV play like us. This is why I compare them. And even though they are a lower end EV company, we're still outselling them. This is why I said let's put things in perspective and understand that when we release Onvo, when we release the Firefly, the first of the Firefly brand, and we continue to release other brands under Alps and Firefly, which will be sub-brands, what do you guys think is coming and going to be happening for us? I see money in my future. How about you? Take a look at this clip. You see, I always say, do your own due diligence and research. This is why when Bloomberg, Yahoo, CNN, Fox, all of them come out with lies and propaganda and demonic sickness spewing from their mouth, because I do my own due diligence and research, I understand, just like Ray Dalio, where we're going when we invest in China, just like BlackRock, Vanguard, and the whole host of pension funds in America is investing in China while they tell you don't. The clip that I'm about to show you is by a genius man. His name is Mukesh Ambani. I hope I pronounce his name right. But take a look at this clip. He was a professor here in a college in America. He's very well educated. I believe he grew up in Malaysia. Take a look and then we'll continue.
When it sees the emergence of a competitor, it makes sure that the competitor doesn't overtake it, so it is pushing it down. So for example, is it the goal of the United States to stop the economic growth of China? Maybe that's why you have trade tariffs, chips, sanctions, and so on and so forth. So then at the end of the day, what the world is asking is what exactly does the United States want to accomplish in this contest, and what will be the end game?
I would like to ask you, what do you think China's strategy is? What power with great power pretensions adopts wolf warrior diplomacy?
I want you to bear in mind a very important statistic, which is that 12% of the world's population lives in the West, and 88% of the world's population lives outside the West. And let me make one point very clearly and very boldly at the very beginning. How the 12% views China is not how the 88% views China. We've seen this civilization for 4,000 years go up, go down, go up, go down. And so the return of China is just part of a long 4,000-year history of dynastic cycles. It's much more normal for them to come back after a while. So what we see, therefore, from, let's say, from Southeast Asia, is the return of a civilization that we have seen for centuries go up and down. So this is a natural return. Now, so when China tries to claim a place in the world as one of the great powers, is a perfectly natural development. Now, you mentioned things, you use words like wolf warrior diplomacy. And what's interesting is that while the term wolf warrior diplomacy is so frequently used in the Anglo-Saxon media, and as you know, the Anglo-Saxon media, let's be very blunt about this, has a very jaundiced view of China, and the rest of the world discounts what the Anglo-Saxon media says about China. What the rest of the world does is to look at what China does and then deal with it. And at the end of the day, you will notice that countries have a choice. Do they want to trade with China, or do they not want to trade with China? And if you look at the deeds, China today does far more trade with the rest of the world than the United States does. If you look at many of the countries in the global south, they're very happy to have normal relations with China, and they have no difficulties. The difficulties have come, as I said, primarily between the United States and China for understandable reasons. And I think here I want to emphasize that there is only one country in the world that passes judgments on the internal political systems of other countries. It's a very exceptional country. And I think you all know of American exceptionalism, and I can tell you that this strategic mistrust between the United States and China worries the whole world a great deal. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, the reality is that China, frankly, has already emerged as a great power. I don't buy the conventional wisdom in the Anglo-Saxon media, which is, by the way, always wrong on China. In 1990, when the economists first predicted the coming collapse of the Chinese economy, in 1990, the Chinese GNP was $360 billion. A few months ago, the economists again came out with a story saying the Chinese economic growth is over. It had grown 50 times after 30 years of predictions of the coming collapse of China. Why do I emphasize that? China's rise is unstoppable. And it's not driven by you or by me. It's driven by 1.4 billion Chinese people. If 1.4 billion Chinese people decide to become prosperous, nothing can stop.
All right, guys, welcome back. You see, you cannot stop the rise of China. China is trying to do something that every country would love to do. They are trying to elevate themselves financially, economically, without firing one bullet, mind you. I can't say that for other superpowers that have risen and fell. I can't say that for the current superpower that is falling hard. So why should I hate China? In fact, we preach here in the West that countries, when they have dictators, is bad and they're suffering their people and they're corrupt. But when a country is doing what they're supposed to do, but they're not selling out their resources cheaply, then we also have a problem with that. So China has grown their economy and the standard of living for their people from the early 1980s, from the 70s when they were starving, to a vibrant community of Chinese people. And I've watched this professor also spoke about how a lot of Chinese leave China, go on vacation and go back. Does that sound like a people who hate their country and can't wait to get away? The 3 Chinese students I told you all I met in the airport, in Philly airport, this was an absolute true story. They were here as students. If China was so horrible, would they go back? And the one girl, with the grace of God, my avatar in my background, I will not lie to you all, she said she was doing an internship for NEO. It's only when I said whale eye she understand who I was talking about. What is the odds of that happening? I give you all my word that this encounter took place. Now listen to this. The company NEO delivered 11,866 vehicles in March, up 45.92% from 8,132 in February, and up 14.34% from 10,378 a year ago, according to data released today. The deliveries included 6,737 SUVs and 5,129 sedans. You see, this shows me that when Envoy comes out, the amount of sales we will be getting. The Chinese love their SUVs. So it outsold the sedans, even though it's higher end than the sedans, more expensive. But imagine the sedans got 5,129 because it's at a lower price point than the SUV. So imagine when we come out with Envoy, what's going to happen? Why did Emperor William Lee choose the first sub-brand to be an SUV? But yet some people are panicking This is why I'm buying more shares this morning as we speak on my IRA portfolio, and I put in to buy 30 more on my Sun portfolio. NIO deliveries last month surpassed the 10,055 units it delivered in January before the Chinese New Year holiday. February 10-17 was this year's Chinese New Year holiday, which caused significant disruptions to the car makers' deliveries. NIO delivered 30,053 vehicles in the first quarter, meeting its recently lowered guidance of around 30,000 units. As of March 31st, NIO cumulative deliveries stood at 479,647 vehicles. Let me also say this. Imagine, like I said, how many people buy our SUVs. We outsold XPeng, even though we're high premium luxury, high end. When we come out with that Envo, watch how much orders we get. It will be like what happened with Xiaomi. And it's going to be battery swappable. In areas where the Chinese don't have access to charging, so they still drive gas cars. Watch what's going to happen when we come out with Envo. On March 27, NIO revised its guidance for deliveries in the first quarter. Earlier today, NIO announced the launch of a subsidy of up to RMB 140 million for gasoline vehicle trade-ins for its 2024 model, saying the move was in response to China Consumer Goods Trade-in Initiative. Now, this is subsidies that is given by the government. Just like here in America, if we buy a dog poop Tesla, dog shit Tesla, we will get back a $7,500 rebate. In this case, for trading in your gasoline for EVs, the government is giving this up to 140 million to NIO to be able to buy these gas cars off the market and give clean energy vehicles. Again, supporting the clean energy revolution. Again, supporting NIO. What do you guys think is going to happen with our sales as this happens? But pay attention to this as well. Excuse me, guys. Yushin, which NIO invested heavily in, they are going to be getting these gasoline cars. They're going to be selling it back to people who are still in areas where there are no swap stations. They're still going to be buying gasoline cars, and they're going to be getting a great deal. This is why Uxin, UXIN, I keep averaging down on them as well, and I put in to buy another 100 shares to bring my average down. You do your own due diligence and research. So, and of course, like I said before, I reported on this, Yushin is also selling used EVs, NIOs, etc., etc., and they're going to be one of the dealerships that are going to be showcasing our Envo. So, saying the move was in response to China's Consumer Good Trade-in Initiative. Starting April 1st, gasoline car customers who buy a new NIO vehicle through trade-in will receive an additional RMB 10,000 option fund subsidies, it said in a statement. This is why I said, have patience, young Padawans. Also, in addition, NIO is also offering discount coupons for NIO Phone worth RMB 6,498, as well as packages that include 36 free battery swaps. Another genius move by our emperor. You see, there's a reason why 41 million swaps have already been done. It is because we give you a taste. Here is it. Take a sniff of this. Do you like it? We have more for you. Just like what Sirius XM Radio did in America. They gave you free subscription for a couple months. You saw how amazing it was without the commercials, and then they pull it away. Do you want it? Come and get it. Genius, genius, genius. This is why I said Tesla will fail, because Elon Musk did not know how to do this. It was always about money, money, money. They did not realize, and like I've said this before, even in the islands, the Chinese are the only ones who can keep up with us in Trinidad, with the Indian population in Trinidad when it comes to business. Because they know how to do business. They understand that if I sell something a little less than you, but with superiority, I will get more customers than you, and I will close your shop eventually. This is what's going to happen to Tesla in China. And this is why I say we have the winning business model. We give you a taste of it. Here you go. And then when you see how essential it is, just like here in Chicago, I showed in the video clip where Tesla customers had to abandon their cars to save their lives because it was freezing and the charging stations failed. Did you see any of that with our charging stations? Did you see any of that with our battery swap stations this winter? No, sir. No, sir. This is why Tesla has a failed business model, and it's just a matter of time before we sing the ultimate lullaby and put them to sleep. And it's coming for the Envoy, is coming to put them to sleep with the Model Y. Okay, 36 free battery swaps and 1 year free access to its assisted driving software, Navigate on Pilot. Now remember, that's also a subscription, so we give it to you for free at first. When you see how amazing it is, you're tired coming home from work, Navigate on Pilot helps you to get home. You're tired coming home from the nightclub, Navigate on Pilot helps you to come home. Then we take it away. Do you still want it? Oh, yes, I like to go and hang out with my buddies late at night. I need this. Genius, genius, genius. NIO had 8 2023 models, ES8, ESM, ES6, EC7, EC6, ET7, ET5, and ET5 Touring, of which the first 5 are SUVs and the last 3 are sedans. Deliveries of the ET9 unveiled last December will begin in the first quarter of 2025. That spaceship, that ultimate spaceship that we're getting ready to send to the Abu Dhabi boys. On February 22nd, the company began accepting customer orders for 7 updated models. At the same price as before. So it's updated, but it's the same price as before. The 2020, that's why we gave discounts to get rid of the old inventory. The 2024 ET7 will be released in April and begin allowing orders to be locked in, NIO said in February. On March 8, deliveries of the 2024 ES8, EC7, ES6, EC6, and ET5 Touring began. Deliveries of the updated ET5 will begin in April and the EC7 in May, according to its previous announcements. So we'll be releasing deliveries of that in April and May as well. Our battery swap stations, the Gen 4, starts building out this month. We said April, did we not? Gen 4 stations, did we not? These stations will be selling back energy to the grid as well. The company plans to begin deliveries of the 2024 ES7, ET7, and ET5 in the second quarter of 2024, NIO said in today's statement on deliveries. Now, I am willing to bet as the date comes closer to these deliveries, they will be getting rid of the old inventories at a discounted price again, if there's any left. Again, boosting sales. May is next month, guys, when we unveil Envo. We do not have to do we will not have to do a reverse split. We will not have to do share buybacks. The company will not have to do that. This is my opinion. Let's see if Money Making Mitch is right. Excuse me, guys. I hope you guys found this video to be informational, inspirational. If so, guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so. Because in this channel, we waking up the middle class to get a piece of the pie. And as 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.